Welcome to another edition of Mark's Market Update. The finance component of buying a home is so critical in today's market. We're seeing a lot of changes over the past few years with credit changes, with financing changes, and in today's market for buyers to be a pre-approved, pre-qualified buyer is so critical to be in the best position to not only compete for a home in many cases where there's multiple contracts or other, but actually to purchase that home, to show up at closing on the day that you've established, to get pre-approvals, to be pre-qualified on the loan commitment date, to actually be precise and hit that loan commitment date. So today I'm excited to introduce to you John Sprangnether with USA Mortgage, a great local lender, and that's key, a reputable local lender. John, tell us a little bit about the process for buying a home and what's critical and what you're looking at when you do have a prospective buyer.
Yes, Mark, thank you very much. Especially these days, it is of the utmost importance for potential buyers to speak to a known local lender to get their pre-approval. A lot of times we'll see clients that are doing mortgage calculators online, doing soft credit pulls on Free Credit Report, that sort of thing. That's not a trusted source for you. You really need to speak to someone local and get the answers you're looking for. Get a true pre-approval, get the documentation in place so that when you do find something, you are a qualified buyer and you're ready to go.
Because what happens is many times as part of our conversation with prospective buyers, we ask the simple question, are you going to be paying cash for your next home? And in many cases they'll giggle and say, no, we're actually going to be getting a loan. But what happens is when you are pre-qualified and the lender goes through the whole process, you essentially are paying cash. You just happen to be getting a loan, but you're equal to a cash buyer as long as the entire process has occurred and you've been underwritten. So tell us a little bit about what you're looking for, and what do you do other than credit? Mm-hmm. What are you looking for? I know that we talk about debt to income ratios,
Sure.
etc. So tell us a little bit about the process of being pre-approved.
Yes, there's a lot that goes into it these days beyond credit score. You have to get into income and assets and debt ratio and that sort of thing. So it's very important to provide all the documentation up front. It is a lot of documentation that is asked for these days, but as long as you get it up front, it helps the process move along very smoothly. There will be questions that we ask for. It does get very detailed, but as long as you're upfront and honest with your lender, the process can go very smoothly.
And we've also, again, John, we've heard of these situations where a buyer's pre-qualified, underwritten, everything's great, but they go out and purchase maybe furniture for their new home where they take out a loan, etc., a credit card at the local furniture store.
Correct.
That is a no-no, is that right?
That is 100% a no-no. And what we do is we try to educate the buyers up front and let them know the do's and don'ts throughout the process. We also need the buyer to listen to us and take those, heed those words and take that into account so that throughout the process there's no hiccups. And as long as you're upfront with the lender and provide all the information that is asked for, it should be a smooth process.
So when you are looking at the debt ratios, etc., the debt meaning you go out and buy a new car after you've been pre-approved.
Yep.
If you're not paying with cash, that is going to increase your debt. Is that right?
Correct. Most lenders will pull credit reports even on the closing date. So anything you do up from the application to closing date, anything that changes can make that pre-approval or the loan process null and void. So it is essential that once that credit is pulled, you do not take on any new debt. If there's something that has to be done, please be upfront with your lender and call them first before you do anything.
What about loans? Is it still, are you still able, the prospective buyer, to get loans from family or friends?
You can. You can get a gift. You can get your whole down payment amount gifted. That is still an option. It's a great option for most clients. Maybe you don't have enough money for down payment. You can receive a gift from a family member and or partner, that sort of thing. So that is definitely a big part of the process still. If you can't afford a down payment or you think you need 20% down payment, that's not correct. There are many options out there for you.
The key is, if I understand you throughout this conversation, the most important thing is you look at not only your real estate agent as your trusted advisor, but you have to work with your lender to be your trusted advisor. So it's really a make sure that you communicate the buyer, communicate with your lender, ask questions. Last thing, tell us about rates. Where are we at rates, jumbos and conforming below 400. What is the jumbo rate right now?
You were looking at probably 4.125 right now, 4.125.
Which is unheard of to have the jumbo rate, which jumbo is over what amount?
417,000 would be your jumbo loan amount.
So if I understand, traditionally, the jumbo rates over 417,000 versus those below usually had spreads of maybe 1% or so.
That is true. They've come down a lot lower than they were in the past. The reason for that is a lot of investors want those loans now. Where in the past they were getting a lot of business on the lower end. A lot of that business isn't there now. So they're looking to create more market share for themselves, and they're very aggressive in that jumbo price range.
Fantastic. So what we're hearing is potentially there's a little tightening in lending. However, it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities still. Investors have jumped in as the refinance business has dried up a little bit. It sounds like there's investors wanting different options. So again, if you have any questions regarding the real estate process, if you looking to buy, if you have any questions about prospective properties, don't hesitate to call the Gelman team. If you have any questions regarding the lending process, which by the way should occur before getting into the buying process, pre-approval, etc., don't hesitate to call or email John. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day.